Okay, so yet again, I've been arguing with people over the internet. Well, not so much arguing, more like discussing, and people want to argue about why they like Bane and Dark Knight Rises, why I am wrong, even though it's my opinion, and why the movie isn't stupid. Okay, I've voiced my opinion on the Dark Knight Rises, uh, on my old channel before I deleted it, and I did multiple videos and so on and so forth. But I haven't done it on this channel, and since that channel's gone, and this is still happening, let me reiterate. And I explained it, and the person ignored me, so I'll explain it again. The smart Bane was wasted potential. What do I mean by that? Okay, at the beginning of the movie, so if you haven't seen the movie, you can leave now because I'm going to spoil the movie and explain it, even for people who have seen it, because they obviously didn't understand why people hated it. Okay. Smart Bane was wasted potential. Okay, first, which is a great scene and great explanation, is he destroys a plane in the middle of the air while setting someone up to be a different person. You know, basically just kill a political figure and have one of his goons cover for him, pretend to be him, which was a great idea, although I don't remember it being used that much at all in the movie, but nonetheless, that's great setup, great exposition, and all shown and hardly even talked about. Like, it wasn't a whole bunch of, like, exposition that's explained throughout the rest of the movie that dragged on and made it was more narrating and monologuing than the last two Batman movies, the Dark Knight and Batman Begins. I didn't even know you could do that and make it less boring. And this was supposed to be the biggest action movie ever, and people came to this in spades. When I went to the midnight launch, okay, I saw all three movies in a row. Batman Begins was good. Dark Knight was awesome, although I could easily complain about the last section of the movie, which was kind of stupid with Two-Face, but I'll probably talk about that another day. And Dark Knight Rises, I just thought sucked because it had a lot of good things going for it that were just way too overdone. Like, which I will explain. Okay, so what do I mean by Bane was, you know, wasted potential? Okay, he's generally not shown as a super intelligent being. In the animated series, he was a mercenary, and in the comics, he's, I really don't know. I mean, I've known that he broke Batman's back because of, like, right after he left the what is it, the League of Shadows or something, because he wanted to prove himself or something. I didn't read the comic. I really don't care. But for the most part, he's not like super smart. He's not like this diabolical villain. He just does what he wants to do, and for money, essentially. And I'm sure he has other reasons, but that's the main thing, at least from what I've heard. And but even with that, I like the idea of Smart Bane, and it kind of worked. What they were going for, the whole plans and the backstory going towards their plan to beat Bruce Wayne and destroy Batman was an interesting premise. Then it started. Okay, Batman and Catwoman find Bane, which I think she made a deal with Bane to get Batman there, and she felt bad. So Bane explains his whole plan for the rest of the movie in like the first third of the movie. That was stupid. I'm sorry, that is retarded. And he's doing all this while monologuing, while beating the shit out of Batman. Are you fucking kidding? Are people really defending this? Yes, they are. I mean, yeah, it was rhetorical, but people are actually defending this, and I'm like, I don't get it. You're the people that like this movie for being an action movie. You don't even pay attention to the shitty writing. Are you freaking kidding me? And I get it. You're not supposed to listen to the shitty writing. But it's still there. You shouldn't just avoid it. Or say, oh, none of that should happen. Because even in the action scenes, there's the retarded shit, which I will go through as we get along. Okay, so that happens. And then, Batman, he's getting all his tech ready later in the movie. And then Bane shows up again. Guess what happens? He takes this super secret area that wasn't even, they don't even explain very well how he found out about it, because only two people know about it. Lucius Fox and Bruce Wayne. That's it. All the rest was in encrypted files and under the radar and other shit. Even then, if the evil chick knew about it, or somehow found out from Lucius, they don't even explain that. All they know is that in this one area they can blow it up and get to the secret tanks and shit. And oh, more monologuing. Okay, great. He basically explains, I'm gonna take over the city and destroy it. Oh, and I'll also be using the secret power source that you explain later in the movie. And so they do. Okay, that's another stupid thing. Taking over the secret base that was hardly ever utilized, and will only be utilized a few more times within the movie. Okay, later. Okay, so that's a dumb thing. Monologuing over it when you can clearly see it. I don't see the point. I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's just chewing the scene for me. Next is the nuclear reactor. Okay, this isn't Spider-Man in the late 90s, okay? Where you can get away with stupid shit like nuclear reactors, nuclear radiation, destroying a huge part of the world, or in this case, the city. That was dumb. Even by Christopher Nolan standards. I think that's his name. Or the director or whatever. That was just dumb. And I don't get why people defend it. Alright, so he uses that to threaten the city, and Batman has this huge plan to save the city, but before that, he has to do the same shit that the evil chick did. Which is essentially climb from a huge pit that's probably about, I don't know, 1,000 feet in the air. This is the exit. So it's basically like a huge cavern and cave where people have been, imprisoned for 2 centuries. And somehow they still have enough food and water, and they can still reproduce. Yeah, this makes no sense, but it's in the comics, I believe, and it's in the movies, so whatever. I mean, whatever. And so yeah, he has to, with a broken back, yeah, he's trapped down there. And then probably the most important characters to me, they were actually trying to help Batman as Bruce Wayne, and they were like, okay, it's like, if you really want to get out, since you're obviously a new prisoner, and you've been sent here for a reason, we'll actually try and help you, because we think you can actually help the world, and we're obviously fucked anyway. So they fix his back, which is probably one of the best scenes in the movie. And then Bruce Wayne's like, it's like I failed the world, I'm not worth it. It's like, shut the fuck up. This whole thing's about redemption. Yet at all of the times that redemption's supposed to happen, it's always a pity party, or feeling bad, or all this bullshit explanation on why it didn't work out the first time. When, at the end of the last movie, it was just a bunch of bullshit reasons to end the series on a really crappy note. It was just lame. And this didn't help it. So, through all of the Arabic peoples trying to help Bruce out, he finally gets the courage to escape the evil prison, underground prison. He does. You know, he never saves any of the people. Like, I don't know. You know, the evil chick saved like some people later in the prison. Kind of. She shot the other people in the prison, which was kind of weird. They don't explain who's evil in the prison and who's good. They just shoot them all except for Bane, which is how Bane gets in the picture. Yeah, it's kind of lame, but alright. And apparently he needs the nasal thing, which is explained later, which I thought was stupid, and they didn't even explain it. They were just like, well, he got his ass kicked for trying to save the little girl, and now he has like, what does he have, like one lung now or something? Why would the machine help? I don't think that's an extra lung. I mean, I guess the filter helps him breathe more air, and then, it's weird. Again, no explanation. They just wanted to give him a better face mask than other adaptations of him, but to me it was just stupid. And it was parodied in South Park for a really stupid episode of South Park. I mean, it was one of the weakest episodes of South Park I saw. But, yeah, so there's that. The evil chick explaining that she is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul was lame. Her reasons for helping Bane and Bane helping her were lame. I'm sorry, if you honestly thought this was great writing, then you need to go back to acting school or journalism, or, you know, your class in journalism or whatever the fuck it's called. Just go back. Learn what the fuck good writing is and great character development and all that shit. This was horrible. Horribly written, terrible dialogue, terrible reasoning. I'm sorry, that is fact. If you really don't care, or if you think, you know, overall the message was okay and the acting was good enough and it was still a great story, that's fine. But for me, personally, investing into the writing and the screenplay and everything, the directing, and the direction, to me it just didn't work together at all. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to fight something today. It's not like a cough or a cold or anything. My nasal passages are just closed, and it's irritating me. Okay, so, yeah, the backstory for the villains was stupid. One of the main things I liked, which was like half decent, was what was established in the taking over of the city by Bane, and that was the criminal courtroom, where the criminals take over the justice system and, you know, essentially have the policemen and all the retards of the movie get killed off in a frozen river, the Gotham River, or whatever the fuck it's called. That was awesome, because all the idiot cops got killed. I'm sorry, they deserve to die, especially after the stupid ending to Dark Knight. Okay? I don't feel bad for them. Most of them were stupid. They didn't even think about what Batman did. If any of them actually had a brain, they would have quit the force, or, you know, they would have done something to, like, try to reason why Batman did this shit. Which, Bane was the one who revealed to the public that Batman was actually the hero, and not, you know, the police. Or not just, you know, him dying, you know, the Two-Face dying just for, you know, whatever. So yeah, that and the Chief Justice, the judge, was Scarecrow from the first movie. Which, yeah, people say, why was he there? I mean, he just, in like 2 scenes. To me, that was fine, because it was something. Something to bring it back to the old movies, in some way, shape, or form. To me, the Batman in this was just depressing, and that's fine. He's always supposed to be like, oh, my parents died, holy fuck. Feel bad for me, guns are evil. I mean, that's fine and all, and it works for the character and the backstory and everything. But going back to, I failed the world. I was to blame. I blame myself for Two-Face dying. Like, he never, I mean, in the comics and in the cartoons and everything, he kind of did that. He felt bad for Two-Face becoming the way he was, but nonetheless, he didn't like take it to heart or blame himself entirely. He just felt bad because he happened to be there in some cases, in some versions. Um, in this, it's just like he died. I have to take the blame for, Harvey Two-Face as a district attorney, not a murdering serial killer. Like at the end of the movie, within like the span of a day, like all those murders were blamed by Batman, which was stupid, and that was the one major flaw in Dark Knight, and that was really it. It's the third or fourth act or whatever, because this was more than your average movie. I don't know. This movie is just insane that people will go to the grave defending it. And that's fine and all. But just think about these things. The next time you see a freaking comic book movie. Like Amazing Spider-Man, as much as it was decent and all, it had some stupid moments. But I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't really go over them right now. And then, you can go over stupid moments in like movies like Marvel's The Avengers. I could go all on about frickin' the X-Men movies, especially First Class, which people love the fuck out of that movie, which made no sense to me. Captain America. Okay, it's a simple story. It's just a dumb one. And I get he's supposed to be the first Avenger. He goes to the future by freezing himself, which was done hilariously in X-Men Evolution, which was a cartoon, but in the movie Captain America, it was just retarded. Telling his girlfriend, I'll see you eventually. I have to sacrifice myself into the ocean because the ship will crash into some land a few miles away. And I have to be on the plane anyways because the autopilot is somehow broken, or it doesn't exist because this is the 1940s. Yeah, it's just, oh god. People liking bad movies happens all the time. But for this, I get it's Batman. I love Batman. He's one of my favorite heroes. And yeah, I don't read the comic books because I know if I buy them, they'll be worthless. So if I eventually have to get rid of them for money, it'd be stupid. That's one of the main reasons I don't buy comics anymore. That and the first comics I had were actually worth something, and I'd had to give them back to the person who originally owned them. So I was like, fuck. And I didn't find out they were worth anything till years later. I think there were like a few Iceman comics, like original Iceman comics, and I think I think it was mostly probably a few others. He also had what is it? Kitty Pryde versus Wolverine or something like that. I had those, and I had like every issue of Firestorm Nuclear Man, the originals. The two white guys that become a nuclear guy, a guy that can create objects from any form of atoms in the in the world. I had like every issue, which was awesome. But after that, really, if they're not from like 20 years ago, comics are worthless. Especially if you have them for like 4 years, 5 years, and comics only get like 4 issues at a time, unless you make a graphic novel, which you pay $20 for those, and you can't trade them in, and they're worthless after that. You just get it, you read it, that's it. They're common. It's not worth trading in. So that's why I really don't get into comics and graphic novels. But nonetheless, I got into live action movies, cartoons, and just Batman and Justice League and everything. And I get what the character's supposed to be. And I get how the villain should be. They should be intelligent. They should have a, a good backstory and great character development. To me, this did not have it. If you disagree, that's fine. But anyways, people are just still going to argue with me about this for the next 3 or so days until I eventually just give the fuck up on it. It's already been 2 or 3 days, so, you know, I should be used to this, but, you know, and I already said opinion, opinion, opinion. People just, you know, want to grind the shit. Man, my nose. But whatever, you can tell me your opinion about The Dark Knight Rises. Hell, you can talk to me about all the Marvel movies I think suck. Iron Man 2. Don Cheadle shouldn't have been in the movie. And he shouldn't be in Iron Man 3. And that guy should be directing Iron Man 3. I think he also directed the second one. Although I heard it's a new director, but I don't believe it. I don't really know. I don't really care because I didn't like Iron Man 2. Iron Man 1 had a cohesive story. And the second one, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, yes, Tony Stark was an alcoholic and an asshole in the series and in the comics and everything. Nonetheless, it was done stupidly in the second movie, and I'm not looking forward to Iron Man 3, which I will probably see anyways, just to see how bad it is. Unlike the Twilight movies, which I skipped the last two, thank the Lord, and thank the power of the universe, and anything else that there is that it may or may not exist. I really am glad I didn't see those videos in 2012. My nose. Anyways, that was just my thoughts on Dark Knight Rises. And I will probably do a retrospective on a game console in my next video in a few minutes. So, go watch that. Or, probably in a couple days, I'll do another video bashing video where I talk about the flaws in a superhero movie or just a general movie that I dislike. So, if you're looking forward to that, come back, and I'll be here. Late.